it's JJ with Bliss House. Hope y'all are doing awesome. Just wanted to give y'all a quick lower back makeover. So if you'd like to get started with me, get started child's pose. Child's pose is a great place to go if you ever want to take any rest during any yoga class. So you just sit your hips back on your heels. You can reach your hands out in front of you. Maybe resting your forehead on the mat if you like. Maybe rocking your head from side to side. Might give you a nice bonus massage on your third eye area. Or you can always swing your hands back by your hips if that feels good to you. Or you can take your knees about the width of the mat, keeping your big toes together. Maybe see how close you can get your belly to the mat. Let's take a moment here to arrive, to be fully present, and to find your breath. Feel free to leave any of your worries and cares and stresses outside the room. You can always pick them up on the way out if you want to, but I won't make you. But there's nowhere else you need to be, nothing else you need to be doing. You've given yourself this time, so really give yourself this time. Finding deep inhales through your nose, and deep exhales through your nose. Noticing what deep inhales feel like in child's pose. Maybe your belly is connected to your thighs, so maybe it might be easier if you breathe out your side ribs or into your back space, breathing 360 degrees around your spine. In a moment to set an intention for today's practice, join me with releasing any pain in the lower back, feeling empowered. Releasing pain and feeling empowered. And whenever you're ready, we can begin our moving meditation. So if your knees are wide, no problem. If your knees are together, you can do the same either way, but you feel free to, as you exhale, walk your hands over to the right side of the mat. Maybe crossing your left hand over your right, maybe interlacing your fingers if that feels good. We're just going to get a nice opening the left side of our body. And keep your knees together or apart, whatever feels good to you. It might feel good as you inhale to roll your left shoulder high. And as you exhale, roll your left shoulder low. Maybe playing with that as you inhale and exhale. Or you can stay still, whatever feels good to you. On your next inhale, walking your hands back through the center. And as you exhale, walking your hands to the left side of the mat. Opening up your right side body. Maybe interlacing your fingers, crossing your right hand over your left if that's available. An option to roll your right shoulder high as you inhale. And maybe roll it low as you exhale. Rolling it high as you inhale. And rolling it low as you exhale. Just finding what feels good to you. It might feel nice to just stay and allow your right side body to release. On your next inhale, walking your hands back to the center. If your knees are apart, maybe drawing them together underneath you. And taking a couple breaths here in child's pose, feeling connected, reconnecting with our intention, releasing pain, and feeling empowered. And then fingertip, tippy-toeing your fingertips out. I don't know, walking your fingers out until your hips stack above your knees in puppy pose. Puppy pose, you can rest your forehead on the mat or your chin on the mat, whatever feels good to you. But feel a nice opening in your heart space
Nice opening in your shoulders. Noticing what deep breaths feel like here in puppy pose as opposed to child's pose. Feeling a nice opening in your upper back. And then planting your palms in your forearms and shifting your hips forward to Sphinx pose. Sphinx pose, stacking your shoulders above your elbows, pressing into the mat with the tops of your feet and with your hips, allowing you to open your heart space a little higher. While we're here, let's do some gentle neck rolls. A lot of us hold a lot of tension in our neck and shoulders, so maybe we'll give our neck and shoulders a little love here. Once that feels good, making our way down to our bellies and resting our head in a neutral position. And as we inhale, lifting our head and our heart and our hands to baby cobra. And as we exhale, returning back down to neutral. Inhale, lifting our head and our heart and our hands to baby cobra, maybe a little higher. And then exhaling back down to neutral. Inhale, lifting your head and your heart, still engaging our backs and the backs of our legs, and starting to press into our hands for cobra pose. Exhale, returning back down to neutral. Moving with your breath as you inhale, lifting your head and your heart, pressing into your hands as we're warming up our spine. Exhale, returning back down to neutral. Then scooching your palms back or your body forward a couple inches as you inhale, lifting your head and your heart, pressing into your hands, noticing that the closer your hands get to your hips, maybe the higher you can go. Exhale, returning back down to neutral. Inhale, lifting your head and your heart, pressing into your hands, relaxing your shoulders down, away from your ears, getting that turtle head out of the shell. Exhale, returning back down to neutral. And then scooching your palms back another couple inches, maybe to the base of your ribcage as you inhale, lifting your head and your heart, pressing into your hands. Exhale, returning back down to neutral. Inhale, lift. And exhale, returning back down to neutral. Then reaching out in front of you with your left hand, bending your right knee, catching your foot in your hand, and then kicking into your hand to lift up for half bow pose. You can press through your left palm, maybe lift a little higher, opening your heart space, breathing here, and exhale, releasing, relaxing. Reaching your right hand forward, bending your left knee, catching your left foot, and kicking into it, lifting through the heart space. Opening through the heart space, opening through your shoulder. Exhale, returning back down to neutral. And then an option to take both hands and both feet and lift. For both. You might find as you take big inhales, you rock a little bit. Big exhales. And as you exhale, release, pressing back down to the mat, pressing your hands on both sides of your shoulders, lifting up through tabletop and sitting back into child's pose. Child's pose, maybe shifting your hips from side to side. Gently getting a little bit of movement there. Maybe reaching your hands back and catching your heels. Maybe lifting your hips up, rolling onto the crown of your head for bunny pose. Rounding your spine as much as possible here. And walking your hands out in front of you again, inhaling up to tabletop. And then as you exhale, bringing your right foot forward, walking your hands up to meet it, and then gently shifting your hips forward just as far as feels good to you in your body. So no pain, no gain does not apply to yoga. So if it ever starts to hurt, just back out of it. So this might be enough for you. Maybe it might feel nice to go down to your elbows if your body wants more, but listening to our bodies, honoring our bodies where we are. It's a journey, not a destination. You don't get any bonus points for ripping or tearing anything or for stretching deeply. So
using your breath to soften up whatever area you feel you're getting a stretch in. So maybe breathing into your right hip flexor right now. Inhaling softness. Exhaling out any tension, any restrictions or limitations. Breathing here. Maybe planting your left hand on your left knee, pressing through that. Gaze can go high, enjoying a nice gentle spinal twist. Breathing here. And then gently untwisting, planting your palms on the mat, shifting your hips back just as far as feels good to you and your body. So maybe this is enough. You might feel a nice opening in your hamstring. Maybe peeling back that left toe. Maybe taking a moment to wave your big toe and see what that feels like in your hip joint. And then maybe shifting your hips a couple inches to the left or a couple inches to the right and see what different muscle groups you can get into. One of the reasons so many doctors recommend yoga for lower back pain is because there are so many muscles that attach your legs to your lower spine. And in yoga you can stretch so many of them, so the more muscle groups you get into, connecting your limbs to your spine, the more relief you'll have in your lower back. So feel free to explore and play, see what needs to be released. Maybe hold it for a couple, or however long it takes for you to feel good there. And then maybe move and find something else that needs to be released. And then maybe sitting your hips back and allowing your hands to walk forward in half child's pose. Breathing here, allowing the muscles in the back of your legs to relax and release. And once that feels good, making your way back up to tabletop again. Maybe taking some big hip circles or figure eights with your shoulders and your hips. One direction and then the other. Finding organic movement to loosen things up and make sure that everything's feeling good. And whenever you're ready, you can switch to the other side. So stepping your right foot forward, walking your hands to meet your foot if that feels good, and then shifting your hips as far forward as feels good to you and your body. Breathing here, using your breath to soften up whatever feels the stretch, probably the left hip flexor. So giving that some love as you breathe here. Maybe your body wants more and you want to move down to your elbows. That's totally fine. Allow your head to bow, muscles to release. Maybe planting your right hand on your right knee, pressing into that knee. Maybe the gaze goes high as you gently twist your spine. Breathing here, seeing how much air you can get into your rib cage, even when you're doing a gentle twist. And then gently planting your palms and shifting your hips back, peeling that right toe forward. Maybe waving with that right toe to see how that feels in your right hip joint. Maybe shifting your hips a couple inches to the right or to the left to see what muscle groups you can get into to open up, find some relief for your lower back. Once you feel like you've loosened up enough of those hip muscles, feel free to step your knee back. Take some big hip circles, one direction, the other, maybe some figure eights. Once we've loosened stuff up a little bit, let's make our way to our backside and do a little core work. So loosening up the muscles in our hips alleviates the compression on our lower back, and then working our core gives structure to our spine, so it alleviates pain as
as well. So we're gonna work our core a little bit. So you can start with your palms behind your hips. And as you inhale, straightening out your legs, exhale, bending your knees. So inhale out, exhale in. So it's a long boat, short boat. So inhale out, exhale in, inhale out, exhale in. And if you like, you can lift your hands. As you inhale out, exhale in, inhale out, exhale in. And keep going, moving with your breath. So if you want to go faster, you're welcome to. If you want to slow it down, you're welcome to. You do you. Just give that core some love. And giving your lower back some love. And feel really great. All right. Lowering down to our backs. And then lifting your legs, planting your palms behind your neck. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of stamp the ceiling with our feet. So it's kind of an inverse crunch, so reverse crunch, and then a regular crunch. So we'll lift up and then crunch. So lift our feet and then crunch. So don't forget to breathe here, exhaling as you engage your core. Reverse crunch, crunch, reverse crunch, crunch. All right, once that feels good, resting your legs out long, our arms out long, nice full body stretch. As we exhale, taking your hands on our heels to the right side of the mat, making a crescent moon shape, breathing here. Open your left side body. Next, inhale back up through the center. As you exhale, taking your hands and your heels over to the left side of the mat, opening up your right side body. Breathing here. Next, inhale back up through the center. And as you exhale, drawing your knees into your chest, giving a nice squeeze. Maybe rocking back and forth or side to side, whatever feels good to you. Maybe you get a nice bonus massage in your lower back as you're rocking back and forth. And then planting your hands behind your hamstrings, or you can take them to the outside of your ankles, or you can do peace fingers around your big toes. And pull your feet towards the mat for happy baby. And then maybe you can rock from side to side, back and forth. Maybe that gives you a nice bonus lower back massage. Maybe you can straighten one leg, we call that ninja kick. Or the other side. Or straighten them both for a really happy baby. Or recline straddle. And you can still rock if you want to. So, and when you're ready, making your way to final resting place. So, doing any other stretches that your body wants or needs before we make it down to final resting place. Maybe you need to stretch long, maybe you need to lower your wrists and ankles. Do whatever you need to do to find stillness. For finding a final resting place, you can release your legs out long, maybe allow your toes to do windshield wiper, back and forth, rainbows. And allow them to just rest, pointing outward with your heels inward. That puts any strain on your lower back. Feel free to bend your knees, planting the soles of your feet on the mat and resting your knees together. Relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears. You can put your palms down into the mat. If you need more grounding in your life, or if you're ready to receive for the universe, feel free to go palms up. Finding your breath with deep inhales through your nose and deep exhales through your nose. Relaxing your shoulders down away from your ears. Giving yourself permission to completely relax. Reconnecting with your intention to release any pain in your lower back and feel empowered. Noticing what stillness feels like in your body. resting your cheek on your bicep. Breathing here, feeling supported by the earth. And whenever you're ready, making your way up to a nice comfy seated position, Sukhasana, your sweet seat. Thank you for joining me today, for sharing this practice with me, sharing your light and your energy. The light and the highest in you. Season honors the light and the highest in you. Namaste. I hope you feel relief